What happens when one of Hollywood's toughest action stars steps into the most heated territory in daytime TV and refuses to back down? When Sylvester Stallone walked onto The View's set that Tuesday morning, no one could have guessed the wild clash that was about to happen live on national television. This wasn't just a normal celebrity interview that went bad. This was a full-on verbal showdown that would end with security stepping in and network bosses rushing to do damage control. Make sure to subscribe and drop a comment below because this story gets absolutely insane. The tension in the studio was thick from the moment Stallone walked on set. Joy Behar had been openly trashing the Rocky star's newest movie on social media for weeks, calling it another testosterone-fueled fantasy for old men who refuse to grow up. Her co-hosts had begged her to tone it down for the live interview, but Joy had no intention of doing that. She never held back, especially not with the cameras rolling. "Well, well, well," Joy said with her trademark smirk as Stallone took his seat. "Look who decided to grace us with his presence. Sylvester Stallone, the man who's made a career out of playing the same guy over and over again." Stallone's jaw tightened slightly, but his tone stayed calm. "Good morning, Joy. I'm here to talk about my new movie, if that's okay with you." "Oh, we'll get to your movie," Joy said, waving her hand like she was shooing away a fly. "But first, I think our viewers deserve to know why you keep making these violent, outdated films when the world needs more meaningful content." The other hosts shifted uncomfortably in their seats. This wasn't how things usually started on The View, but Joy clearly had a plan. Violent and outdated. Stallone leaned forward, his famous gravelly voice showing a hint of annoyance. "Joy, with all due respect, you obviously haven't seen the film. It's about redemption, family, and finding purpose later in life. Themes I'd think someone your age might connect with." The audience gasped at the quiet dig, and Joy's face went red. "Someone my age, excuse me? Are you really going to sit there and patronize me on my own show?" "I'm not patronizing anyone," Stallone replied evenly. "I'm just saying it's irresponsible to criticize something you haven't even watched. Especially when you're in your position." "My position?" Joy's voice jumped an octave. "And what position is that exactly?" "The position of someone who calls out Hollywood's toxic masculinity," she continued. "Someone who uses her platform to hold people like you accountable." Stallone's patience was slipping. "You want to talk about toxic? How about jumping to conclusions and spreading negativity without facts?" The studio audience went dead silent. Everyone could tell this was going way off the rails. The other co-hosts looked around nervously, unsure how to calm things down. Joy slammed her hand on the table. "Don't you dare lecture me about facts, Sylvester. I've been in this business longer than you think, and I can spot fake machismo from a mile away. Your whole career is built on the idea that violence fixes everything." "Violence fixes everything?" Stallone's voice rose slightly. "Rocky was about an underdog who never gave up. Rambo was about the trauma of war veterans. These stories mean something to people. They inspire them. What are you inspiring, Joy? To tear people down on TV?" Joy stood up, face burning red. "How dare you question what I do? I've been fighting for women's rights and justice while you've been flexing your muscles and pretending to be a hero." "Pretending?" Stallone stood too, towering over the table. "I worked my tail off for everything I've achieved. I wrote Rocky when I was broke and sleeping in bus stations. I've created jobs for thousands, raised millions for charity, and made characters that give people hope. What have you done besides complain?" The energy in the studio was electric. Camera operators were closing in, realizing this was TV gold, while producers in the control room panicked over whether to cut to commercial. "What have I done?" Joy shouted, voice shaking with fury. "I've used my platform to call out people like you, to stop the damage your movies do to young men who think they can solve life with their fists." "My movies?" Stallone let out a short, humorless laugh. "Joy, you want to talk about damage? How about the damage you do, teaching people it's fine to attack others without knowing the truth, as long as you call it activism?" The audience stayed frozen. One co-host whispered, "Maybe we should take a break." But they were both beyond reason now. "I am not cruel," Joy shouted, spit flying. "I'm honest. Something this industry needs more of." "You just can't handle the truth about what your films represent." "The truth?" Stallone's voice dropped low, calm but deadly serious. You want the truth, Joy? You're a bitter, angry person who tears people down to feel powerful. You've never built anything meaningful, so you destroy what others have made. The air seemed to stop moving. Joy's mouth opened and closed like she couldn't breathe. The audience and crew just stared, frozen in disbelief. "How dare you?" Joy screamed. "How dare you come on my show and call me bitter?" "Security, get this man out now!" Stallone didn't flinch. "I'm not going anywhere until I finish what you started." "You opened this door, Joy. Now you're going to listen." "You don't get to finish anything. This is my show, my rules, and I'm telling you to leave." "Your show?" Stallone laughed coldly. "This isn't your show, Joy. ABC gives you this platform, and right now, you're showing why daytime TV is dying. People are sick of watching angry hosts attack guests." One of the other hosts tried to intervene again. "Sylvester, maybe we could talk about your charity work." "No," Stallone interrupted without looking away from Joy. "I came here to talk about my film. Instead, I walked into an ambush. And I'm not leaving until Joy tells your viewers why she thinks it's okay to attack a movie she hasn't seen." Joy's hands were trembling. "I don't need to see your stupid movie to know what it is. It's the same garbage. Punch this, shoot that, flex your muscles, and call it deep." "You just proved my point," Stallone said firmly. "You're blinded by your bias. This film is about a man facing his mortality, trying to fix his relationship with his estranged daughter, and learning that real strength isn't physical. But you don't care, because it doesn't fit your story." Joy slammed her hands on the table so hard the mugs rattled. "Don't you dare psychoanalyze me, you washed-up musclehead! Your movies are fantasies for men who can't handle real life." "Washed up?" Stallone's eyebrow arched. "Joy, my last 3 films made over 200 million worldwide. When was the last time someone paid to hear your opinion outside this room?" The audience gasped. Joy's face turned white, then scarlet again. "That's it. I want him gone." But her co-hosts looked panicked. They knew this was TV gold. Ratings would be through the roof. The calmest host tried again. "Maybe we can all just take a breath." "No!" Joy screamed, pointing at Stallone. "This man came here to insult me on my show. This is harassment." "Harassment?" Stallone laughed, actually amused this time. "Joy, you've spent 10 minutes calling me outdated, toxic, violent, and irrelevant. I respond with facts, and now you're the victim? You call personal insults facts?" Joy shot back, pacing behind the table. "You call attacking a woman on her show facts?" "I'm not attacking you because you're a woman," Stallone said quietly. "I'm calling you out because you're a bully. And bullies don't get to hide behind their gender when someone finally stands up to them." The word bully hit like a slap. Joy froze, stunned, then came back twice as angry. "A bully? You're the one glorifying violence, teaching men to solve problems with fists. And I'm the bully?" "Yes," Stallone said simply. "That's exactly what I'm saying. Right now, you're showing everyone what bullying looks like. You attack, name-call, and silence anyone who disagrees. Then you play victim." Joy's voice broke as she screamed, "Get out! Get out of my studio now." "It's not your studio," Stallone reminded her. "It belongs to ABC, and I was invited here to talk about my movie." But Joy was shaking her head wildly, motioning to cut the cameras. Too late. Everything had already been recorded and broadcast in high definition. When they came back from commercial, Joy's chair was empty. The others awkwardly explained that she wasn't feeling well. But everyone watching already knew the truth. Social media exploded within minutes. Joy v. Stallone was trending everywhere. The irony was impossible to miss. Joy had accused Stallone of toxic masculinity, but he had stayed calm and composed while she completely lost control. In the end, Stallone walked out with his dignity intact, while Joy wrecked her own image on live TV. She had proven his point perfectly, that some people are so blinded by anger and bias that they can't have a real conversation anymore. The entire incident became a lesson in how not to conduct an interview, and what happens when personal grudges take over professionalism. Stallone never got to properly talk about his movie that day, but he achieved something even bigger. He showed the world that sometimes the best way to deal with a bully is to stand your ground and let them destroy themselves. So, what do you think of this unbelievable showdown? Did Joy get what she deserved, or did Stallone take it too far? Drop your thoughts below, because this one is going to be talked about for a long, long time.